Good evening everyone, welcome to Carp Fishing in Spring live Q&A subscriber question and answer with me, Leon BARTROPP, and the community. If you're watching on playback, welcome. If you're here tonight, welcome as well. What normally happens if you haven't been here before is about 45 minutes to an hour, myself and the community answer all your carp fishing questions and queries to help put more fish on the bank for you. Evening guys, we've got 117 in the room on YouTube already. Let's just check out Facebook quickly. Got a few coming in on there as well. And I hope everyone's having a great Sunday night. And a great weekend as well. Oak Carp says he's had a brilliant weekend. He had 10 today. Whoa. All I want is one. I haven't had a fish for 2 months. 2 months. 22nd of February, I think, was when I had that big common. I've had the curse of the new rods and the curse of the big common so far. And we still can't get a bite. We just cannot get a bite. We've had situation where we leave the swim. Someone goes in there and has the fish you're after or one. Or that's just fishing, isn't it? It's just the way it is. So, Ghost Carp Buster asks, Leon, do zigs work at night? Most definitely 100%. I'm just as confident, if not more confident, in the night because of that. I only use little bits of black foam. That little bit of black foam sitting up against the silhouette and the moon or the sky or everything, just that's what the fish see. I'm just as confident at night, if not more so, of catching one. Joanne English, he's been fishing at a 65 pounder. Now that is a special fish, isn't it? Well done. Evening Luke, you done well as well, mate. Pork Chop is down there at the moment. He's eating things like this. Look, that's his little toy. Brian Silver managed to snap his rod on a branch. Not good. Not good. I've done it before. I've snapped rods in the van. When you close the door, you snap them or push something down, and it goes. You think, oh, is that all right? And you daren't look, do you? Leslie Trapp says, small pop-ups or big, it just really does depend on the rig you're using, the size hook you're using, and if everyone else is using big pop-ups, I would tend to go small. Evening Eamon Keaton, hope you're well. Evening Hoxton, hope you're well. Hoxton's Carter says, Leon, are there spring offers for the Monster X? Yes, 100%. I believe this week they are going on there. I know he's done the images and everything else, and it's all made and raring to go. He's just got to stick it up on the website now. And there's going to be, yeah, plenty of offers. Plenty of offers that you've come accustomed to with the System X and everything else. I think he may even be doing some special offers with the liquids as well, like a little package of the powders and the liquids so you can pimp up your baits and all that, put it in your stick mix. So yeah, just worth waiting for, believe me. Evening Andy Oram. Evening John No Carp Wallace, hope you're well. Evening Darren. Darren's been repairing a bargain bait boat, fair play to you. Evening Roy, hope you're well. Lewis Davis says, am I spomming yet, Leon? I won't be spomming till about the summer. I won't be spomming till at least July, I'd say. Reason being, the two lakes I'm fishing, the Park Lake and the Alien Lake, it's not the one really. It'd be spomming. Because there's few fish in there. They're big fish. And they really don't like lines and spomming and things like that. Although some people do, if they're going to stay in the same swim. I like just to ping out a few baits and then put some freebies over the top. Evening Alex Booth, hope you're well. Colin Osborne done a few hours on Saturday, had a nice ghosty on a slip D rig. Well done, mate. James Early's been fishing, nothing out. Dad and son fishing, urban environment or quiet syndicate? Got to be quiet syndicate. In my age now, I just want a quiet life. Richie Boy Cody says, Leon, what is a good carp dog? Depends on what you like. If you like something that's calm and that, don't get one like mine. Because he barks and yaps and everything else. Alan Dixon said he hasn't been out for 5 weeks. That's not good. Evening Shaw Rowlands. Ken West, hi Leon. Any suggestion of a decent catapult for boilies? Well, Ken, I asked the same question And everyone pointed me, well, most of the people pointed me towards the ESP catapult. So that's the one I bought. Can't fault it. So far, so good with it. Simon Wall said, what's the Alien Lake's real name? It is Wingham. Wingham Lake. Well done, Pete Carroll. Jack Russell, yeah. I mean, Jack Russells are good. They're small, they're compact. Yeah. Desi One Balls out Tuesday for 3 nights. Good luck, mate. Evening Raw, Rowley Barrett. Dave Hanson said he just done a 24 hours on a nice lake in northern France. He blanked and had a mare of a session. Wayne Nippon says he's never seen lightning like it last night. Unreal, went in for hours with torrential rain. We didn't have any down here in Kent that I know of. PB Carper, evening to you. "2008 Dapper said, where can I get one of them Tufty torches as none on eBay?" I believe there's quite a few people who've been trying to get hold of them. I mean, they sold out straight away. You know, me and my big mouth, eh? They should be back in stock by the end of this week, this coming week, I believe. So when I find out when they're back in stock, I'll post the link up. Pete Mayer said, did you get the tubing from Rigmarole? Yes. The free-fall braided rig tube. Was used it for the first session last week. Really like it. Really like it. So you'll be seeing a little, I think, a little review on that in the next couple of weeks. Evening, Sean Mudqueen. Sean Mudqueen said, would it be okay to freeze your base mix when it's mixed up? I do the exactly same thing, Sean, when I'm making corkball pop-ups. It's out of base mix. So I refreeze that, get it out, defrost a little bit, use that for the corkball pop-ups, put it back in the freezer. So, yeah. 2008 Dapper, thank you very much for the super chat. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you very much. It helps with the channel. Stuart James, how's the free fall compared to Gardner's tungsten loaded tubing? I haven't seen the tungsten loaded tubing for many years. When I used to use it myself, yeah, it's okay. I would say the free fall's a totally different. It's a totally different kettle of fish. It's got very fine, like brass or steel. It's like a big spring with a hole going through the middle, but minute, micro. And then it's got a braided outer. So it's very heavy, very supple. I mean, I swear by the Calder tungsten tubing. I think it's the best on the market. Someone says to me the ESP one is. That's the new one. I haven't seen that one yet. But I saw the freefall at the big one show. Managed to get hold of some. But it's just a little bit different to my normal tungsten. It's got a braided coating to it. And in the water, it just, the colour, where it's a porous braid, it takes on sort of the colour and the silt and whatever. It's different to what I'm normally used to. And so far, so good. Yeah, no problem, Sean. You can refreeze your base. When you mix it up, mix up what you got to do. I mean, from years ago, from rolling bait myself, I used to mix up a big lot of base mix with the eggs and everything else, roll out as much as I could and go, oh, I can't be doing anymore. I put it back in the freezer. A couple of weeks later, get it back out again, roll some more up, put it back, get it out. So, yeah, it's not a problem refreezing your base mix. Evening, Stephen Hayes. Hope you're well, mate. Stephen Borum says, Leon, do you rate leg core over tubing? I use leg core and tubing in 2 totally different scenarios. If you can't use leaders or leg core's banned, because I like, with leg core, I like to use a rotary rig with it. You know, for like the hinge stiffy or for the D rig, I like to use a rotary rig, and leg core just lends itself so perfectly to that. Tubing is when I can't use leaders, I can't use leg core, and I want to use a clip system. So I want to get rid of that lead straight away for weedy lakes, like the Alien Lake. So that's when I use them 2 different ones. I wouldn't say one's better than the other, because I use them for 2 different scenarios. Evening, Matthew Randall. Hope you're well. Ben Williams says, have you seen the MCF Rattler bobbing? What do you think? I think it's been out about 10 years, that, and I've seen them. And for getting straight up and down lifts and that, I don't think you can beat that Rattler bobbing. I just wish it looked a bit nicer, if that makes sense. Evening, Tariq. Hope you're well. It was good to see you at the big one, Tariq. Evening, Chris Burnsy. Liam Thomas says, what do you think about Calder's new tubing heli kit? Haven't seen it, but I've heard some rumours that you buy the kit and you have to buy this and you have to buy that. It works out about 20 quid for one rig. So I will purchase one just to see what it's all about, because, you know, it might fill a gap in my fishing. But if it's too expensive, I won't be buying it. Lewis Davis says, do you still use the shotgun style throwing stick, mate? I will be using it a lot more because I'm just starting to put a bit more bait out. I'm using a little catapult, but I'm going to be using it a little bit more to put it through its paces. When I initially used it, quite liked it. You can get double the amount of bait out. Just have to get used to the action of it. Because I'm used to using a single stick, using a double one, even though it's quite light, you got to aim low. Aim low. I've just got to get used to it. So yes, I will be using it a bit more. Evening, Donna Wood. Dan Simpson said he's looking for a new wall that says club to join in Staffordshire and just on the Derbyshire border. Can anyone help him with that, guys? Del the Angler says, evening, Leon. Evening, Del. Particles or boilies this time of year? It really does depend on the lake. I love particle fishing. I love boilie fishing. But it depends on the lake. Depends on the stock. Depends on if they like the boilies. I've always liked using boilies because I find that I catch the bigger fish. Not as many, but I catch the bigger fish. So, I mean, something like Sandhurst, which has got quite a big head of stock. A bit of weed in there. Well, starting to get some weed in there again, I believe. I'd use particles. I want to use little bits and pieces, little bits of corn, little 10mm pop-ups, small stuff to get them in on the spot, you know. If I'm fishing like the Park Lake, I like to spread my boilies in an area. So when they're feeding these bigger fish, they're moving from bait to bait to bait. And the rigs I use, like the D-rig or the hinge stiffy, whatever, they're big fish rigs, you know. So I use a double bait, and it's yeah, so there you go. Thanks, Mike Smith. Thanks for watching them. You know, guys, Mike Smith there says, "Hi, Leon, love the vlogs." Guys, it gives me a buzz that you guys watch them. It gives me a buzz that we get 300, 400, 500 people on these live streams on Facebook and YouTube, and we're helping each other. I learn shitloads on here. Sorry for swearing. But I learn loads. When we do these live streams, I learn loads. Because, you know, I don't know everything. I only know half of what people are asking. You know, or my opinion on something. So when someone asks a question, or I ask a question, or someone goes, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Like last week with the ESP catapult. You know, there's about 10 for me to choose from. Same as you guys. But the resounding thing that come across was that ESP catapult is the one to get. That is the greatness of what this live streams and the close Facebook group and everything's about. That's the essence of it. We're all helping each other not to make a bad decision, and from what we've learnt in our fishing to make us better anglers, to make better choices. So, hands off to you guys. It's not just me, it's all of us. Ian Clark's eyes, Leon, fishing Bluebird on Friday. I'm doing 48 hours. Have you fished there? I haven't fished there for many, many years. I did a magazine article on there many years ago when they came and took some photos. I think it was Crafty Carp or one of those. But I believe it's very expensive, but there's some lovely fishing there. Yeah, Paul Morris says 10 bait stringer for me this time of year. There you go. Look, that's out of the norm, isn't it? Not many people use stringers anymore. The guys I know come on here, maybe you guys, who've used stringers to your advantage and you're catching fish using them. It's one of their forgotten tactics. You know, of using a stringer with 4 baits on, or 10 baits, or, you know, a necklace of baits and putting it out there. It's just something different that the fish don't see all the time. They see a tight group in a PVA bag, or they see a scattering. They don't see like a little line, that type of thing. So it's something different. Being different definitely catches you more fish. Barney's good. Craig saw he's down there munching on his bone at the moment. Dave answers, evening pair, how do you approach a swim where there are fish everywhere? I just panicked and made the balls of it. Just got to keep calm. Keep calm. What I would do, if you've got fish showing in front of you, or loads of fish about, you see them head and shouldering, stick one rod out. One cast, one rig, give it half an hour. Maybe give it an hour. Especially if you're there for 24 hours or 48 hours. Try and nick that bite. Try and get off the mark. Try and nick that bite. Lots of times, well, I used to turn up lakes, 3 rods out, spom in, yeah, lovely, right, they're here, and the fish would disappear. Not all the time, but more likely they disappear because they're pressured fish, or they don't like the noise, or whatever. Not always the case though. But I learned over the years, just pick out 1 rod or 2 rods in 2 different directions. Take your time, watch where the fish are showing, ping a rod in that general area, not right on their head. Sit back, put the rods on the floor, don't even set up. The rods on the floor, and you're buzzing because you're looking at the line. Oh, is the reel going to go? Is the rod going to turn round? Another couple of fish show, and it's the best type of fishing ever. Aaron Preston says, Leo, tell the people looking for a Stafford ticket to get a Burton Mutual ticket. They've got about 10 lakes on the ticket, including Branston Water Park. Thank you very much, Aaron. I really appreciate you sharing your knowledge with us. John Wood says, Leon, do you reckon the carp like a line? More than likely, John, I reckon. It's an addictive substance, isn't it? John Mulqueen says, have you ever spliced your hook link for the multi-rig? No, but I mean, years ago, I just know a guy who used to use something very similar to the Ronnie rig, probably about 20 years ago. And his hook link he used to use was actually a piece of lead core. He used to splice the 2 ends, and he used to have the hook spinning round on there, and he caught loads of fish. Only about that, I'd say about 6 inches on a clip system. He'd cast that out and he'd catch loads. Evening, Paul Edwards. BB Carp says, absolutely, I've learnt loads from the live and vlogs, but costing me a fortune. Love it. Evening, Kevin Wren. I bet you're gagging. He's at Eric Willow's on the 4th of May and he can't wait. I bet you can't. Keith Lee says, how would you approach fish sitting in heavy, dense snags, but fishing up to front of them is 14 to 16 foot deep? Very good question, Keith. Now, do they always sit in the snags? Because I've found that as soon as that light goes down, the fish come out of the snags a lot of the time. So I want to find their routes of where they come out. They won't spend all their time in the snags. It's a safe haven for them. It's where they go and chill. A lot of the time, they won't even eat in the snags, you know. I'd get a swim near it, or where there's a gravel hump or a bar or a patch of weed or something, and watch them. If you're going to fish that lake and you'll find them in the snags during the day, sunning themselves or just chilling out, doing nothing, that's their favourite area, they must go around the rest of the lake at some point over that 24-hour period. So you must, you know, even if you wake up in the morning, they're back in the snags. You know, they've been somewhere. They come out and have a look. All their food can't be in those snags. So I'd find an ambush point, you know, a point where it comes past the snag, or so, whatever it is, try and think one step ahead of them. Dan Clancy says, the lake I'm fishing, they say the carp don't take zigs. Do you think it's worth a go? Tell you what, Dan, Whenever I fish the lake, they go, no, don't like fish meal boilies on here. No, they don't have zigs. No, don't like particles. I tell you what, whatever everyone else is telling you not to do, do it to find out. Find out for yourself. Because usually, what I do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. Evening, David McBride. Aaron Presser says, Leon, talking about particles, what are your preferred particles? Do you go to the farm shops or all of the internet? I order from a few different places. CC Moore, Hinders is a good reputable. GJW Titmus, Farm Shop in Upminster in Essex, or wherever I can get hemp, maize, any of that, you know, Party Blend, Pigeon Conditioner, you know, I like all those things. Tiger nuts. I love particles. Don't use them as much on the lakes I've been fishing, but come the summer when I'm going to be fishing the northern lake, the deep pit, they like a bit of particle in there. It's a totally different type of fishing. I'm going to be using a bit then. No, never say never, Pete. You know. Evening, David Scott. No problem, Dan. Let us know. Evening, Franco. Hope you're well. This is what fishing's all about, guys. Look, Franco Connor, young lad, just started his fishing career. He's still buzzing about his PB that he caught 3 weeks ago. That is what fishing's all about. Do you remember them days when you was a young lad? You catch a £2 tench or you catch your first carp. A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 months later, you were still buzzing. That's what fishing's all about. Better than any Xbox, better than any television program, any video on telly, apart from the wrong ones, of course. But, you know, that's what fishing's all about. You know, I very rarely see the likes of young Francos just starting his fishing. They're becoming less and less and less of these young anglers coming into the sport. It really is. You know, you've only got to look at how many fishing licenses the Environment Agency sells. It's going down every year. It's shrinking. There's different things for the young lads to do. You know, my boy who's 10 loves YouTube, loves his Xbox. Yeah, I might go fishing, Dad. Maybe. Yeah, I want to go in the summer when it's a bit warmer or whatever. Or, you know, it's just... What can I say? Hello, Lee Hoff from Canada. I'm off to France in May. May the 11th I go. What was the question, Hoxton? I might be able to answer it for you. Good evening, Brian Mills. Hope you're well. Evening, Chris Beeson. Chris Beeson says, mate, he cycled to tell his mum he had a £20 ghostie. Peter May is like a little kid waiting for his ticket. Cheers, Ryan. Unfortunately, I wasn't fishing the weekend. I had some family time. I did a bit of work. And, of course, talking to you guys on the Sunday night. I should be off fishing Tuesday for a couple of nights, I think. Clifford Chalmers says he's 55 and can't sleep for a few nights before I go fishing, always buzzing. I'm the same. If I have to get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to go fishing, like you saw in the last vlog, then I usually don't go to sleep. I mean, who else out there, right? If you're going fishing at, say, 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, who else out there is mad enough that they don't get some sleep the night before? They're tying rigs or getting their little, what they're going to get at the 24-hour Tesco's or what, you know, or thinking about where they're going to fish. Who can't sleep because their mind's going crazy off the night before? I find it every time I go, I've got to leave early in the morning. Hence why we always had the McDonald's stop. Frank O'Connor, he can't go sleep. He's always buzzing. Sean Saunders can't. Paul Bradley, evening Paul, hope you're well. His new ticket doesn't start to June the 1st. It's on the same lake as me, Paul, isn't it? And he can't wait because he's buzzing. Chris Robinson says he feels sick on the way. David Bride said didn't sleep last night, buzzing to go with his mate Jeremy. Andrew Oakley can't sleep the night before. Mark Beaver says no, I like you're up 4 hours before I'm supposed to be there. I'm the same. Alien Lake last week, Wayne. It'll be in tomorrow's vlog. It'll be the first session on the Alien Lake. Trev Reesa says he can never sleep. It does bring the child out in you, that's for certain, Scott. Evening, John Boyd. Pete Mayer says you like Linford out the blocks when the alarm goes. No problem, Chris. Glad you're here. You know, glad you're enjoying the chat. We've got 300 people in on YouTube tonight. Let's have a quick look on Facebook. They're always lagging behind a little bit. We don't get as many on Facebook as we do on YouTube. Although sometimes we do. See, look, we've only got 45 people on YouTube. On Facebook, sorry. But 304 on YouTube. Hi, ENS. Paul Bradley says, his missus says us fishermen are nuts. I think we've got to be nuts to go fishing, haven't we? And keep on going, sitting there blanking or catching or whatever. It's like a release for me, you know? It's like a release. It's like it's my chill out time. Although I don't do much chilling out, so I'm either blogging or looking for fish or moving or looking after the pork chop. Evening Brett Story. Dan Williams says, Mrs. says, only time he's happy is when he's going fishing. I love it. I love it. How many of you, look, my missus, Mrs. B says, wants me to go fishing, right? Because otherwise I'm a grumpy sod. Otherwise I'm a grumpy sod, right? She wants me to go fishing. Aren't you going fishing tomorrow, she says. Aren't you going? For God's sake, she says, can't you go? How many other misses are like that? Mark Price says, Dan Williams, that's because you're a West Ham fan. I'm a West Ham fan from his sins as well. Although I don't make that known most of the time. Tony Capel says he's new to carping. What's the one bait you take to every lake? One bait I take to every lake. Oh, blimey, it's got to be a boilie of some sort. But I always have a can of sweet corn in the van. You never know when you're going to need a can of sweet corn. Definite true keeper. Either that or someone else is popping round when I'm not here, Oxton. One of the two. I can't decide which it is. Mark Roberts said his wife tells him to go fishing when I'm doing her heading. There's people like, right, there's guys I know, right? You've probably happened to you as well. There's guys I know, fishermen, who haven't been fishing for a couple of weeks. The missus has been moaning and that. The dude is decorating and that. They purposely pick an argument so they can storm out with the gear already in the van and go fishing and say, I just need some space for a couple of days. Just need my own space, you know. Still love you and that, but just need my own. I need to have a think, you know. Paul C says, any thoughts on tapered main lines? Not really used them. Never really had to. I mean, I don't cast 150 yards. I'm a 80 yards max type of man in the edges. So if I can't use a fluorocarbon leader, I'd rather be using fluorocarbon or I just use straight through. So they're good if you're on venues where you have to cast a long distance and you can't use leaders. Evening to Stephen Trask. Little shout out there to you. Matthew Rand says his missus loves it when he goes fishing as he gets the bed TV all to herself. Luke Manny says that's the one, Leon, but usually costs you in the long run. Yeah, it costs you, you know, it does cost you, innit? Chris Tyre says his missus hates it when I go as it takes up her time as we live about 80 miles apart. Ian S says his missus says when you go fishing she gets the better herself and not hear me snort. Is that Ian? Half of my life I spend in this is the man cave, right? Half the time I spend nights in here because I'm working late or I snore like a mad person, and my missus either gets up and gets in there herself or kicks me out or goes, you can sleep in there tonight if you're going to snore. So I just come in here anyway. At least I get a good night's sleep, but she ain't snoring. Even in the Cambridge Carp bar. Hi, John Rushton. Yeah, Desi One Ball says chickpeas are good. I usually curry them. Very forgotten particle chickpeas, guys. Definitely, you curry them. You do lots of things with them. They take a flavour and a colour really well. Aaron Press says he's going to Runswell on Saturday. He's going for the lake record of most caught. I'm thinking of filling it in. What do you think? The lake record is 60 fish in 16 hours. If it's a Runswater, like you say, fill it in. Fill it in and have all your rigs tied up ready. If you're trying to catch as many as you can, go for it. Fill it in. Fill it in. Freight it in. Who's Mr. Salty? Brian Silver. Have we got a Mr. Salty in here, have we? Any tips to deter rats, not including the carp dog? Rat traps, that's the only thing I can think of that I've taken in years gone past, was the old rat traps with a bit of peanut butter. You know, I had a brace of them one morning. I had 2 rats in the traps. Can you hear him? Can you hear him? Evening, Dan. Look, the pork chop, look. Look. Take your hand off, he want to tell you. Cuddly toy or something to eat, a bit of steak, you take your hand off. Rats don't like fairy liquid, Kath Tyler. Oh, I've never heard of that one. What do you mean, what, just putting a bit out on the front of the swim or something, or? Steve Borum, here's a little tip for you. 15p tin of chickpeas in Sainsbury's. Chickpeas in salt water, scores always. There you go, guys. If you want to try chickpeas, give them a go. Sainsbury's, 15p. I'm sure Tesco's will do them as well. Give them a go. Stephen Thompson always takes some bread. Can you hear him? He's in the bin now. Get on the Gary Baldies, Kerry. Carp dog's off his nut. That's what he is. Mr. Salty says, you know what, Leon? Your head looks like a little, that boilie I used yesterday. It probably does. It probably does, Mr. Salty. Although I doubt that's your real name. Although I think you've been on it before, haven't you? I think you might have done. We welcome everybody on here. Kath Tyler says a dribble round bivvy doors works wonders. Well, I tell you what, next time I'm in a rat place and I ain't got a carp dog, I'm going to use some fairy washing up liquid. Shane Dockley says, what do you think of Rich Monkey bringing that new power vault? Can you hear him? I haven't seen it yet. Well, I haven't used it yet. I've seen it. Hey! Come up here. What's this? He's barking at the window. Right, the new Rich Monkey Vault, I believe it's a big step forward in technology from what I know about it. I haven't used one yet. I'm going to try and get my hands on one in the next 3 or 4 months. They're going to be expensive or on the higher end, 150, 200 quid, I believe. But I'm hearing things like 38 charges out of your iPhone. I mean, bloody hell. You won't have to buy another bloody charger ever again, will you? So I'll wait and see until I actually use one and find, you know, give it a go. See what happens. Offer him a bit of steak, yeah. Cambridge Carp says, can you recommend the standard ginger snap for biscuit of the week for pure dunking prep? Cambridge Carper, I'd forgotten about the ginger nuts, but I have ginger nuts all the time. I love them. Mr. Salty says, do you feed your dog boilies? Watch out if you do, he might try and eat me. Well, he's a little bit small to eat me. So, but I have fed him boilies in the past. And he loves, well, depends what boilie it is, you see. Wayne Nip, I said when it rains, you end up with foam bath. Yeah, with the old green stuff, wouldn't you? Kevin A says, the new Volt, 200 quid, bloody steep. Yeah, it is expensive. But it depends on what you're looking for, isn't it? Paul Bradley says, Leon, you need to stop biscuit in a week. I put on £4 the last 2 weeks. I think we're going to have a diet product of the week, aren't we, soon? See you soon, Aaron. Carl Brewer says he uses an old bait spray bottle, washing up liquid and water, good for rats to keep them away. So just have a little spray around your bivvy, stops the rats coming in. I've never heard this one before. See what a great font of information we are here. Hoxton. If it's 200 quid, but it depends what it does. Depends what you want from something. You know, I used to have a big battery, a big car battery thing I used to take everywhere with me. Because I need this, I need to charge this, I need to charge that. Or, you know, for me, it's I can't give a review or tell you, no, it's rubbish because it's too expensive until I've actually used one. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, you're right, it is expensive. 200 quid's very expensive, isn't it? But then again, it's 150 quid for a normal one. This one's meant to be twice as good, so we'll see anyway. When other people start using it and giving their comments on it, we'll see. Luke Manty says, stop being a knob, Mr. Salty. Breakfast bar of the week, Brian Silver says. We could do that, but some of them are full of carbs, aren't they? What do you reckon guys, this is a brilliant way. What do you reckon? Instead of biscuit of the week, although I kind of like biscuit of the week because it gives me an excuse to go into Tesco's. Instead of biscuit of the week, what could we have of the week? Dinner of the week? Drink of the week? Sandwich of the week? I don't know. What? Let's put it out there. What do you think, guys? What do you think? Come on. What do you think could replace biscuit of the week? Brew of the week? Yeah, but that makes you get fat as well, doesn't it? Although brew of the week, do you mean like tea? You could have like a different coffee or a different tea. That's a good idea, actually. Apple of the week. X-Lax for breakfast. Pit stop burger of the week. Yeah. Bank dinner of the week. Coffee of the week. Vape flavour of the week. Whoa. Low calorie meal of the week. That's not a bad one, is it? Low calorie meal of the week. Because, you know, bird of the week. Yeah, I tell you what do you reckon if I run it past Mrs. B, if I get a model down every week and say, this is the bird of the week. Not sure she'd go with that one. Sweet of the week. That's as bad as biscuit of the week, isn't it? Comment or tagline of the week. Something like that, isn't it? Gin of the week. Gin of the week. McDonald's of the week. Breakfast of the week. Excuse of the week. Guys, here's a look. Here is a brilliant excuse for you, right? If you go to work somewhere, right, and you want a day off fishing, this has worked for me many years ago after someone else told me this. You ring up and you say, look, I can't come in today. So they go, what, you unwell? Is there something wrong with you? You say, my front door has fallen off. Now, what a brilliant excuse. Well, you can't leave your front door, can you? If there's no front door on it and it's fallen off or it's broken, you can't leave it. So everybody I know has tried it, has got away with going fishing. Try that one. Your front door's fallen off and you're waiting for the carpenter to come in to refit it, or the locksmith to redo it. How about that for a brilliant excuse? Drink of the week. Troll of the week. Carp dog of the week, bad driver of the week, camping product of the week, curry of the week, twat of the week, Sean Malconey says. Curry of the week's a strong shout. Yeah, we could have a different... Yeah, but there's only so many... There's probably only half a dozen different curries, isn't there? That's the thing. Biscuit of the week's ideal, isn't it? There's so many different biscuits out there, we'll never get bored of them. Boilie of the week. Vape flavour of the week. Well, yeah... Mark Beaver says there when that one fell trying the back door. I don't know how to take that, Mark. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. Worst West Ham player of the week, Mark. I tell you what, we'd have 11 weeks of them, wouldn't we? That won't work. The ponds won't work. Teabag of the week. Freak of the week. We like that one. Ice cream of the week. Pizza of the week. Crisps of the week. It's all still fat. Look, we're going to have to stay with biscuit of the week, aren't we? Useless gadgets of the week. I know a few people I think useless. Wig of the week. Yeah, I need one. Fishing a week. Mr. Salty and Mrs. Pepper of the week. TV programme. What happened to David West Ham? I don't know. I don't watch it anymore. I know what's coming. Even with Arsenal, I just know what's coming. Chris Tyre says his boss would drive round and make sure it was off the front door. But it's a good one, isn't it? Sorry, can't come in. My front door's fallen off. I'm just waiting for the locksmith to come and the carpenter. I can't leave it. No, I haven't stolen his squeaky toy yet, Desi One Ball. Soon, no, I think. Matt J says, hi Leon, great vlogs. Off to France in May. And do you think the Fish Spy Mark floats are any good? Have you used one? I haven't used one, but I can see the benefits of using one as a tool. If you're fishing a lake and you want to see what the bottom is, you're fishing over. But the problem is that you see the bottom, you go, oh, I've been fishing, oh no, I can't, I haven't had my rig in the right place, or it's been there, or how can I put a bait on there? I tell you what, I just cast out. If I think it lands all right, that's it, it's staying there. Putting that out and seeing the actual bottom and going, oh look, that spot over there 2 foot to the left would have been better, or you're probably causing yourself more stress and grief by not knowing what's on the bottom. Andrew Oakley says he can't get away with the front door falling off because he works for the housing association he rents off. I love it. Brian Mills says he's used his gas boiler and electric before for an extra day off. Brian, it sounds like you've got a few excuses there. You need to share these excuses with us, I think. And his bathroom taps. Carp tip of the week. Yeah, that could be a good one. Norfolk Carper says, what happens if you're a chippy or a locksmith? Well, you're done for, aren't you? You've got to think of something else. Wayne Bird said, best excuse not to go work. I've gone fishing by mistake. I've actually know someone who actually rung up and said, what, am I meant to be back in work today? I'm fishing. I'm sure I wasn't meant to be back in today. He's got away with it. Rig of the week, Brian Mills. Yeah, that could be a good one, couldn't it? Will Gamer Willow says, what do you think of Nash products? It's like any company out there. Some good products, some products I wouldn't use. John Marley says, how do you find underwater features, bars, ridges, etc. without a marker rod setup? A couple of things that I do. I cast the lead out and I wait to see how long it drops for and what it lands on. If it's hard, if it's soft, I pull it back with a little rig on to see if there's weed there or whatever, and I cast that clip up and just bounce it back. I don't like using marker floats. Don't like using marker rods. Think of it this way, right? Think of it this way. If you're looking for a back of a bar or something like that, yeah, marker float will find it quicker than I could probably find it with just my lead. It's less splash with a lead. But also, if you think of it this way, when you cast that marker rod out, then you cast your rod next to it, you're not actually fishing the spot that you've put the marker rod on. There's no logical, physical way you can fish exactly where your marker is. So 5-10 foot to the right or left, you might not be on the spot, mightn't you? So I use the lead, let it fall down, and if it lands how I am confident how it should be landing from what I've done had a couple of casts, then I'm fishing the spot that I want to fish, aren't I? You look at it that way, it's a different way of looking at it. No, Hoxton could do bait. Hoxton, Brian can do whatever he likes. He can do bait and the Brian. That'd be a good one, wouldn't it? Bait secret of the week. You could do. That'd be a good one, wouldn't it? Or bait ingredient of the week, Brian. You could do on your channel, couldn't you? Something like that. Or bait myth of the week. Now there's a good one, isn't it? Best excuse to go carp fishing of the week. Robert Noyce says a friend of his used to carry a bag of sawdust and go fishing. Then before he went home to wife, he'd cover himself with the sawdust. That is absolutely brilliant, isn't it, Robert? That is brilliant. That is one brilliant way to get round the missus not knowing that you've actually thought you've been to work. Matthew Randall says he's called work and claimed he was too drunk from the previous night and went fishing. Problem is you get sacked for things like that. That's the only problem, Matthew, because it's your own fault, isn't it? You got to think of something which isn't your own fault, which is like the hand of God, which is like your front door falling off is a brilliant one, or your boiler blowing up, or you flooded, or your car's broke down, or, you know, particle of the week, hook of the week. How do I fill the lead down? This is what I do, Cole. I put on a lead just enough to get me to the area. This is how I choose a spot I want to fish, okay? If I was going to a new lake, a new swim that I hadn't fished before, I'd get my rod out with the rig on. I'd cast it out, or maybe not with the rig on. If it's weedy, I'd leave the rig off. I just want the lead. I'd cast out to any likely looking areas, like if there's a bit of weed or you know, and then there's a clear patch which indicates to me that it might be a bit deeper, or there's not as much weed there, or the fish have been feeding, whatever it is that you've chosen that particular spot for. Cast out, hold the rod up, feel the lead down. It'll go donk, or you won't feel anything at all because it may be in weed, or if you get a really hard donk, or if you cast it out, you go pop straight away, you know it's shallow. If it takes a while, you know it's relatively deep. So then I clip up if I thought, yeah, that feels nice. Cast out again on the clip, feel it down, donk. It'd be exactly how it was before. So then I put a rig on, cast it out again, feel it down. Yeah, it feels about the same depth as it was the last two times. Donk, that's it. Then I'd slowly pull it back to the side. Like that. Only a couple of foot, because I want to know what's on that. It may be going donk, but it might be weed on there. It might be light weed on it. It might be loads of leaves on there. So you've got a bare hook now. You reel it in. Oh, look, there's a dead leaf on there. Or there's a bit of weed on there. So you think, well, I've got to fish a pop-up on that. Or it's not the spot I want to fish because it's got lots of dead leaves on it. Or it's too weedy because it just locks up. So then I just do that until I find a spot that's clean, or it's only a little bit of weed, or it's you know, the silt smells quite nice, you know, it's not stinking, or there's no dead leaves on there or any snags on there or whatever, until I get that 100% spot, clip up, wrap it out if I do, write it down, back out again with a baited sharp hook and a bait, boom, I'm fishing. That is how I find a spot. Mark Rum says, can you do boilie of the week? Try a different one every week. See which one you catch on. I'm not catching on any of it at the moment. Thanks for popping in, Mark Beavers. Michael Goodyear says, what size lead do you use when leading about? As light as possible to get to the spot that I want to lead to. So I normally only use about a 2 ounce lead or a 1 ounce lead, because I only fish short a lot of the time. If I'm fishing 60, 70 yards, then I'll put a lead on like a 3 ounce, 3.5 ounce to get there. Sorry, Stefano. I do tend to, once I get into it, I speak quite quickly. And if you're tuning in from another country, you might find me with my accent as well quite difficult to understand. Pete's Angling Journey says, you can't come in today, got to see the docs about my Johnson. Another good excuse there. Chris Burns says, are your new rods more responsive for feeling lead down? 100%, Chris, 100%. When I'm casting them out, I'm feeling lead down, I'm getting a lot more responsive action coming back through the rod, because they're not stiff. They're not whippy, they're more a progressive action. They're not, you know, overgunned for what I'm doing. So when I'm casting out, feeling lead down, I'm getting a lot more, I'm feeling it a lot more easier of what I'm landing on. Give it a go, Carl. Give it a go. How I've explained it, it's how I do it. Other people do it, they use marker floats or deepers or whatever you want to use. Give it a go, Carl, and then come back to me and tell me how you're getting on with it. Luke Josh says, evening, have you ever fished Medway Valley Brooklands? Any tips? I have. I must admit, I've only fished it a couple of times. It's very deep. There's a couple of bars or plateaus in it, but it didn't grab me. It's just one of them lakes I thought, I don't really like fishing here. It's a brilliant lake with some brilliant fish in it, well run, but it didn't really grab me, so I can't really give you any tips on it because I didn't really like it. I didn't really get into it, if that makes sense. Paul Hughes says, does blue dye affect fishing? 100%, Paul, in my honest opinion. Because what it does, it cuts out the sunlight. What it does, it kills the weed, because that's what it's designed for. All the natural food in that weed goes into the ecosystem. The fish eat all that natural, get really big, but you're not getting many bites because the fish are eating the natural. They're on the natural. Natural is, they will go for natural every time over a boilie. After 2 or 3 years of that, of no sunlight, the ecosystem dies. So the bottom of the lake is virtually dead. So it's not good for the ecosystem. It's not good for nature. So for a prolonged period of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, putting blue dye in a lake is not good. Tim Roberts says, Leon, is your pod a Summit low profile? Yes, I've got the low profile with the mini buzz bars on, mini fixed. I should be doing a look at it, review about the Summit low profile, because I know you guys be on at me to do it for ages. But in one of the next couple of 2 or 3 blogs, I'm going to look at it and why I use it and why it's good or bad or whatever. We'll have a good look at it. Best black chicken scarers of the week, Carty Boy says. Cheers, Cole. Let us know you get on doing it that way. No problem, Stephen. Lipstick of the week. Mr. Salty Rooster. Mark Robbins says, what about fishing a different shop product of the week, i.e. meat, corn, prawn? That would be a very good idea if I was on more of a runs type, heavily stocked waters, which unfortunately I'm not. I'm on sort of harder, lower stocked lakes. So I want to try and actually catch one, but I will be using a few different things in the summer on a few different lakes. I'm going to try spam. Look. Got to try this in the summer, and a few other bits and pieces, corn and lots of different stuff we're going to try. So Dizzy One Ball says, them Summit pods look expensive. Are they worth the money? It depends. They've got pods there from 250 quid, which it depends on your budget, doesn't it? But if you want something that's well made, engineered, made in the UK, you can't go wrong with those. Solar pods as well. Good pods, engineered in the UK, made in the UK. you know, Jagger, they make as well. It's how much you're willing to spend for something that you have confidence with, that you know is made to the high standards. It's not from China. It's not, it's not from the Far East or something. It depends on what works for you, doesn't it? Whether you think it's expensive or not. Good luck with your exams, Franco. Sandwich of the week, Alan Belcher says. Czar TV says, what is the best carp chair to buy? Again, it depends on your budget, depends on what you like the look of. That's the beauty about the fishing. There's loads of different products for loads of different pockets. You just got to find the one which you like, Old school sod pod, yeah, Rob Lyon. Oxford said, Leon, do you think you'll fish some more runs waters this summer, or maybe a review for the new or younger anglers on the Facebook group? Maybe, yes. Maybe I might, in the summertime, I might fish some more sort of runnish, different waters. I mean, I went to Quarry last year, Sandhurst. I'm probably going to try and get up Farlows at some point. The little lake next to it. I keep on meaning to go up the linear, but I just never get around to it. Simon Flaxman says, Leon, how do you keep motivated during the winter? I love winter. Winter is my favourite time of the year, believe it or not. There's less anglers. It's cold. I get the Coleman on. I get the heater on. I listen to my iPad, listen to music. The fish are at their biggest weight, and I just love that time of the year. I would say that would be the reason, Paul. Definitely, because of the blue dye. Depends on how far down the line the blue dye is. Carl says, running lead or fixed lead? I fish running for bite indication. Yep, I mean, you're not going to get any better bite indication than a running lead. I don't use running leads personally. There you go. Desi One Ball says he still uses Fox X Pod Plus. Never any problem. If it works for you, Desi, then that's all that matters, doesn't it? Doesn't matter what everyone else is there. Chris Lee said, is the Park Lake you fish well in? Yes, it is, Chris. Tony Morgan said, just got the solar sleep system, pucker bit of kit, best night's sleep. There you go. Mike Smith said, any tips for the quarry in Essex, Leon? I'm going there for 3 nights in June. Lovely lake, loads of... Just try and find a fish. They like a bit of bait in there. That's what I use, quite a bit of... Go and have a look at my YouTube video I've done on the quarry lake. If you go in that playlist, there's 2 or 3 other videos about the quarry lake from other people as well. So it gives you a little... You can watch them all. But they give you an insight. I only fished it once for a couple of nights. But they like a bit of bait in there. That's for certain. You should get bites. Get on the mini maze. We love a bit of mini maze, Brian. Hi, Paul Teasdale. See you later, Steve. Stephen Borum. There will be a video out tomorrow, 6 PM. It is the Vlog 5. It is the first session on the Alien Lake. So that will be released tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the evening. Watch that, guys. There's loads of other stuff on the channel about the multi-rigs and all that sort of bits and pieces. In tomorrow's video, I'll go into more detail about how to actually mature and pimp up your baits and hook baits, liquids you can use, and how to do it, more or less, So there's that. Don't forget, guys, there's loads of merchandise and, mugs and iPhone covers. Look. On the website, leoncarpdog.com. And it looks like we're more or less out of time. Bloody hell, that's an hour. We've been talking about excuses for getting off work, biscuit of the week, or the new thing for biscuit of the week. We've answered a few questions between us. I've learnt loads, especially about rats and using the old green stuff with a spray. It keeps them away. I'd like to know how to get rid of bloody squirrels. One has burrowed itself in my shed. So we'll have to answer that one next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, hopefully, fingers crossed, will be live from the bank, probably the Park Lake, unless it's somewhere else. So guys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Thanks as always for tuning in. Over 400 or 500 people on the live stream tonight. Appreciate every single one of you, even you, Mr. Salty, even you, because you're talking, you know, you're talking, you know, you're something to talk about. So don't be shy next time, Mr. Salty. And have the brilliant rest of your Sunday night, guys. And I will see you Wednesday. Don't forget, Monday, tomorrow, 6 PM is the new Vlog 5. It's on the Alien Lake. And we talk about all things fishing and how to mature and pimp up your hook baits to try and get you some more bites this spring. See you soon, guys. Thanks for tuning in.